I'm Sr Anezka and I'm a full Clare nun. I had always known the merciful touch of God in my life. Most people know the story of St Francis and the leper, how before St Francis's conversion, he saw lepers as abhorrent and disgusting. Really, he was rather frightened of them. But one day he meets a leper on the road and he sees Jesus inside the leper. And St Francis said, God turned what was bitter into sweetness. I myself have experienced this in my life. I grew up as a Christian and it was just me and my mum growing up. And at the age of 16 I went to go and see my cousin who is a Catholic priest, and he had just returned from Manjagorje and he had brought back with him a rosary for me. I was very angry at him for doing this and I said, I will never be a Catholic. Well, within a year I had become a Catholic. So, God works in mysterious ways. Then I attended many Catholic summer schools, Hearts Aflame, and at the second Hearts Aflame they said that you should discern your vocation. So I thought, all right, but I am never going to be a religious. I wanted to be a wife and a mother. I wanted a family. So, but within a year, I realised that God was calling me to be His bride, to make my home in Him, to find my family in Him. Then World Youth Day in Sydney was coming up, and I was going. And just before World Youth Day, I went to go and see my mum who was living in Australia. And we watched this movie of St Therese. There's a very beautiful scene where she is seeing her father for the last time, and as her father is wheeled away in the wheelchair, he points up to heaven and he says to her, in heaven, as in we will meet one day in heaven. My mum turns to me, tears in her eyes, and says, don't you ever do that to me. And I said, Mum, no, do not worry. I will never be a contemplative. I am just not called to enclosure. I will never be an enclosed nun. So I went to World Youth Day, and on the last day of World Youth Day, I broke my ankle. So I had to have some time off, and my 21st birthday was coming up. So my mum said that she would pay for the flight to Europe, and thus so I could go to Lisieux. So I went to see the Carmelites in Christchurch just before I left, and I was telling them that as well as going to Lisieux, I was going to spend a weekend in Wales seeing a poor Clare that I had met through XT3 social media. And the prioress said to me, poor Clares, I could never be a poor Clare. They don't even wear shoes. They have the hardest life in the church. And I thought, my goodness, if she, a Carmelite, couldn't be a poor Clare, how on earth could I ever be? And I thought in my heart, I will never be a poor Clare. Well, I came to Heathrow, I arrived, and I came up by train to Wales, and I was walking up the driveway of the monastery, and all of a sudden within my heart I knew something unsettling was about to happen. And I walked through the chapel door, and the sisters were coming up for Mass. And all of a sudden, within me, I said, as if in response to something, in response to someone, I said, "Ah, oh, Jesus, it is here that you live." You see, all my life I had been searching for something to give my life to. And here he was, on the other side of the world, waiting for me. St. Therese said that, do you not know that God lives within the tabernacle just for you? He burns with a desire to enter into your heart. And here he was, burning with a desire for me. And I realized that I was burning with a desire for him. So my weekend became a week. My week became a month. I never went to Lisieux. I never went and saw any other part of Europe. I stayed here, and I have been a nun now for 9 years, a poor Clare Collatine. 2 years ago was my solemn profession, the happiest, most fulfilling, incredible day of my life. And interestingly enough, I have not learned to say never to God, because around my solemn profession I went to see a solemn profession of another sister in Nottingham, and as we were leaving, I turned to my mother abbess and said, "Mother, I could never live in Nottingham." Well, we are just about to move to Nottingham. We are closing down our poor Clare Collatine house here in Wales, and we are the 13 of us moving to join the 4 sisters in Nottingham. So, God is a God of surprises. Never say never to God, and I hope that you will learn that our God is a God of the impossible, and that if you follow him and do as he desires, that you will find that in his will is your peace, in his will is our peace, and that he will give you all fulfillment, all happiness, all love. He is a merciful God, and in his mercy he calls us to be his own.
Come, oh come, merciful one. Oh come, merciful